And once again today, we begin the 8 o'clock hour of Fox and Friends with a Fox News Alert. If you are just joining us, this is a live look at the wreckage of the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore Harbor, with the part of the bridge on top of that container ship.
Yeah, I wonder when they're going to start moving the ship out and start building. Wow. Recovery efforts are back underway for the 6 people presumed dead after the bridge collapsed.
We can stop traffic. Just make sure no one's on the bridge right now. I'm not sure where. There's a crew up there. We might want to notify whoever the foreman is, see if we can get them off the bridge temporarily.
C-13 dispatch. The whole bridge just fell down. Start, whoever, everybody. The whole bridge just collapsed.
And that's when they learned that it was too late. And later today, the owners of the Singapore flagship that brought that bridge down are expected to arrive in Baltimore.
Now let's go to Griff Jenkins, who's joined by Maryland Governor Wes Moore. Hey, Griff.
Yeah, good morning, guys. We've got the governor here, and Governor, thank you for taking time. You just heard that Maryland Transportation Authorities, perhaps a silver lining in this tragedy, that they saved lives. Are they heroes?
They are heroes. And they save countless lives. I mean, these are individuals, our law enforcement officers, who move so quickly to be able to warn the workers, to be able to stop traffic on the bridge. They warn the workers? Yes. In fact, I was actually speaking with one of the workers who told me that as he was running off, it was actually because a member of the law enforcement was telling him, off the bridge. And so they warned workers, they stopped traffic, they kept cars from coming on the bridge. Had these police officers and these law enforcement officers not done that, what was a catastrophic incident that we saw would have been even more catastrophic.
Governor, have you had a chance to speak with any of the families of those now presumed dead?
I did. I spent a good part of yesterday with the families, praying with them, praying for them, and praying for their peace. And I told them that we were going to put every effort, air, land, and sea, for a search and rescue mission yesterday, which we did. But now that we moved on to a recovery mission, we are going to spend every effort to make sure that we can bring them a sense of closure in this horrific incident.
Those divers will go back in that frigid water, which is putting their lives in danger in these conditions. Have you gotten any information? Have any of the bodies been recovered yet?
None of the bodies have been recovered yet, and these divers are in the water right now as we speak. In pitch dark, where they can literally see a foot or two in front of them, in cold water temperatures with heavy tides, and they are out there right now doing the work. And so the debt of gratitude that our whole state has to these divers and to these first responders, it's boundless.
And Governor, as we understand, there may be some of the construction workers' vehicles that went in the water as well. What can you tell us?
We're pretty clear that some of the vehicles that are probably in there are the vehicles of the construction workers. I mean, this happened so quickly. Between the time of the Mayday to when the first responders got up and started responding to the time when the bridge collapsed, we're literally talking about a small period of time. And so we do assume that some of the mangled metal that these divers are having to navigate right now, those do include some of the vehicles.
And I know there hasn't been any information, but do we know any more about whether there may have been just everyday citizens that just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time that went in the water driving across the bridge?
We don't have any indication of that now, and part of that really is because of the heroic work of the first responders who were able to clear people as quickly as possible and get them off. But we do not have any indication as of right now of individual citizens that were caught in this.
Governor, let's talk about the impact. We see on the cover of the Baltimore Sun today, $15 million a day. It's costing this port. I understand there's 140,000 jobs tied to this port.
Correct.
What are they going to do now, and what's your message to those families?
It's costing the country. The economic impact that this is having, not just on the state of Maryland, but on the entire country, is staggering. We're talking about a port that's responsible for over 51 million tons of foreign cargo. That's the largest in the country. The Port of Baltimore is responsible for cars, heavy vehicles, agricultural equipment, the largest amount in the entire country. So this is not just going to impact Maryland. This is impacting the farmer in Kentucky. It's impacting the auto dealer in Michigan, this type of backlog that this is going to cause. And so the thing that we want to remind people is we have to make sure our workers are protected. They had nothing to do with this. The other thing is we've got to be able to focus and get our economic engine going again. We've got to get that bridge rebuilt, and we have to get this port reopened.
How long will that take?
This is going to take a while. This is going to be a large mission because it's very complex. We still have the loss of human life and a recovery mission that still has got to be prioritized and making sure these families get their closure. And at the same time, we've got to be able to focus on what does a new day look like that we're going to rebuild, but we've got to rebuild fast and smart and in coordination with everybody.
Let's talk about how this happened. How could this happen? Have you talked to the captains of the boat?
I have not personally talked to the captains of the boat. I know the investigation is taking place, and I know NTSB and others are moving swiftly with the investigation. And we have to get to an understanding of what happened to both make sure that this does not happen again, that we can have the right, measures and accountability around it. But even the investigation, along with this recovery, we understand this is going to take some time.
Will you meet? We understand the Singapore owners of the ship are in town. Will you meet with them?
It's not on my schedule right now to meet with them. No.
If they bear, or do you believe that they bear some responsibility potentially, and should they be part of the cost of the rebuild?
I think it's too early into the investigation to know that. But the thing that I know is that if people are found held liable for what happened, there needs to be accountability for that.
And when we talk about the 140,000 jobs lost, and you think about this ship, if they had maintenance issues, if they did things, that caused this, what do you say to those families that say, these people, this ship is what turned our lives upside down?
I believe in accountability. And that's why I think that we have to have a proper investigation, and wherever that investigation lies in terms of measures of responsibility or liability, there needs to be accountability around that.
Can you bridge the time span? Because when we talked to the chair, and I know you were meeting with Chair Hamindi a little earlier here behind us, yeah. Can you bridge the gap? If it's going to take a long time for this investigation, you can't wait to rebuild. You got to get a bridge stood up. You got to get these 140,000 people back to work.
We've got to get moving now. And that's why, my job, particularly here on the ground, is we are working to coordinate all these efforts. That we have got to focus on communication, we've got to focus on coordination, and we've got to focus on completion. We've got to get this done, and we've got to be able to move on it.
And how important is the federal level going to be in this process?
It's going to be hugely important. Both the administration and also Congress. I mean, this is something that's not just going to be important to Baltimore. It's not just important to Maryland. Like I said, we are Maryland tough, and we're Baltimore strong, and we are going to do everything in our part. At the same time, it cannot be overstated the economic impact this is going to have on the entire country. We need the entire country to rally around getting the port of Baltimore reopened, because it is that important to our nation's economy.
You spoke to President Biden. What did you say? What was the call like?
Well, I was thankful that the president gave a call and let us know that he has our backs. And I said to the president, I'm grateful because we're going to need it.
Did he make any promises to you? We saw in his public comments, he said whatever federal resources it's going to take, but were there more specific promises made?
No, he basically, what he shared publicly is what he shared privately with me, and I appreciate it, because I think the president understands, as we want the whole country to understand, how important it is that we can get this bridge rebuilt. I don't know what that skyline looks like without the Key Bridge.
Yeah.
It's been there since I've been born. It is such an important asset and such an iconic bridge in the city of Baltimore. And the Port of Baltimore is such an important economic engine for the entire country. And so I appreciate all the support that we are getting from around the country, from philanthropy, from the private sector, from government partners on this. And the thing that I tell them is that keep it coming, because we're going to need it.
Governor, you talk about that bridge, and here in the cover of the Sun, that image right there, you can hold it up. When you see that image, what goes through your mind?
It's breathtaking. That's not the Baltimore skyline that I know. And I remember when I got a call in the middle of the night from my chief of staff and from the mayor of Baltimore when they said, the Key Bridge is gone. I said, what do you mean? And they said, it's gone. It collapsed. I will never forget that phone call. And that's why I know that, in addition to my heart going out to these families, because I know this was not what they expected when their family members left that day and left that night to go to work, I know we owe it to the people of this city and the people of this state to get this fixed and to get it done.
What do you say to your community here as you take this undertaking on? It's going to take months, if not years.
I say that we are going to get this done because we're going to get it done together, that we are Maryland tough, that we are Baltimore strong, and that we're built for this, and we're going to get it done together.
Last question. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Is there anything, as you look at the investigation, are there any questions that haven't been answered for you right now?
Oh, there's plenty of questions.
Like what?
I want to be able to understand everything that happened to lead up to that. I need to understand everything that happened when it came to the response to it. I need to understand everything that happened when it came to how, what was the long-term response? What is going to be the long-term impacts of the fact that we have a major freight that is now still sitting in the middle of our harbor? I need to know it all. And that's why I think it's why it's important. People will say, I'm going to be on the ground to be able to make sure that we're leading these efforts.
Does it lead you to worry about any vulnerabilities? Obviously, terrorism was quickly ruled out in this as an accident, but as some intel experts have opined on the news channels, that people overseas who want to do us harm might be looking at how quickly that bridge fell, how damaging it was. Fortunately, it was at 1:30 in the morning. Do you have any concerns that this revealed a vulnerability?
I know that we have to make sure that our infrastructure is protected. And for anybody that is looking at or trying to understand where the vulnerabilities lie, do I think that they could potentially look at things that have happened and get creative? I just think that we, as a state, just have to get even more creative.
Governor Wes Moore, thank you for time.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. God bless.